Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ryan's Roadmap. I'm just going to hop right into it today. Today we're going to talk about focus and how to stay focused. I'm talking about focused in life, focused in business, focusing when you're working, and all of this stems to what I call motivation. What can really drive someone to focus, like laser in, dial in focusing, is when they have a motivation pushing them. And 75% of communication and 75% of your motivation is nonverbal. And what I mean by that, you can't just pick up a book, you can't hear a great speech from somebody and just go out and feel motivated. It wears off. How many times have you been to an event and you've heard someone stand up on a stage and speak and their real motivation and you feel this really great feeling inside and these juices flowing and you're ready to take on the world, and then the next day when you wake up, all of that is gone? Well, that's because that's a small piece of motivation, and 75% of the motivation that gets you going, that makes you laser focused, is nonverbal. It's stuff you can't read in a book. It's not a magazine. It's not a show. It's called self-identifying and identifying yourself within. And when I mean self-identifying, it's all about who's around you. Who do you associate yourself with? Are they people who are like you? Are they people who believe in what you believe? Now, you've heard that message a lot in the champion movement. Find people who believe in what you believe. Well, that's very important because that keeps you motivated. Finding people who are like-minded keeps you motivated. It keeps you focused. And it may sound a little counterintuitive here when I'm talking about motivation and focus, but they do work hand in hand. And the champion movement says it's your purpose, cause, and belief. Discover and find the purpose, cause, and beliefs that inspire you to do what you do. Because see, we all have unique gifts and strengths that we can apply to our life. And if you apply those unique gifts and strengths and you're inspired to do it, you have no choice but to be focused in everything that you do. Because when you're focused and the result inspires you, that is the result that you're always looking for in life. That dopamine being dropped on your brain, that feeling of excitement, those juices that you hear when someone's standing on a stage. You can have that all day long, every day, where you're always motivated and always focused if you know your purpose. Because that is the key to having a motivational, fulfilled life, is understanding your unique purpose and then applying your unique gifts to that purpose. Because when you find that, you will have a self-gratification beyond no other. I've learned this recently over the past year. I worked a job where I didn't feel like my purpose and my unique gifts were being displayed in a way that inspired me. I moved on. I found something that does inspire me. And the result of that is I wake up fulfilled every single day. Now, and I wake up every day focused because I know if I focus and I do a good job in what I'm wanting to accomplish, I'm going to get that dopamine on my brain. I'm going to feel good about what I've done. Now, how does this kind of all equate? It's kind of like a math equation. Finding your purpose equals finding what it is that inspires you to do what you do, which will equal motivation, which in turn will equal focus. So everything that you do, everything that you apply in your life, if it inspires you, if it's what you believe, if it's what we call your why statement, you have no choice but to be focused. Now, keeping focus, that's another roadblock. A lot of people know their purpose. Certainly if you're in the champion movement, you know your purpose, cause, and belief, but keeping your focus is where it can be a little bit tougher. Certainly when you're at work or in your personal life. Focusing and having laser focus can dramatically change everything about you. Everything about what you do, about the way you act, the way you perform activities. And a small example of this is having true happiness at work. Let's say, for instance, I'm sitting down and writing an email. I write an email, I send off that email. I wait for an email response. Now, what I do during the day is I go back and I keep checking my email, keep checking if I got a response. How much time am I wasting and how much is my focus being directed to a single email? We live in an information age where we get instant gratification on everything. And that's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing because people are driven for that dopamine to be dropped on their head, on their brain, so they get this feel-good feeling inside of them. It's kind of like a like on Facebook. I want to post something on Facebook and I want to see how many people have liked it. The more likes I get, the better I feel inside. And you might deny that fact, but it's true. You get a small little gratification when someone likes one of your posts. So what we do is we deviate from what we're supposed to be doing during a day, and we start dealing with all of these different forms of communication and social media and emails, and it completely distracts us at the task at hand. I don't believe that this is kind of a bold statement. Let me put it in another context. ADHD is real. It is a real condition, but I believe it's misdiagnosed because many times I don't think people have ADHD. They're just searching for that dopamine and they can't stay focused because they look at something, a task that they're doing, and they're not feeling that drip. And so they're like, man, I got to find something else so I can feel that drip of excitement. And they constantly are jumping from one thing to another all day long so they get that little feeling of gratification. And they're searching. They're trying to find purpose. Now, if you know your purpose, your cause, your belief in life that inspires you to do what you do, and you understand your unique gifts, you don't need to search for all of that stuff. You can dial in and focus on one thing that you know is going to inspire you when it's complete, and you are going to get that feeling of gratification. So how do I keep focus? When I'm working on a specific task, certainly at work, I shut off my email. I shut off all Facebook. I focus on that one specific item that I know when I complete, it's going to inspire me. And sometimes that sounds a little bit like, well, there's a lot of work that's just grunt work, but it's the end game. The end game is what's going to inspire you. For instance, anytime someone becomes a part of the champion movement and they discover their purpose, cause, and beliefs that inspire them to do what they do, and they discover their unique gifts, I get a major drop of dopamine because I feel good for what I've done for that individual. So when I'm writing an article, and I may not like writing articles, and I may not like spending the time, like an hour or two, just really focusing and dialing and writing something very unique for people to see so they can discover the movement. While I'm doing that, I know that the end game is if someone sees this article and they become a part of the movement and they discover their purpose, cause, and beliefs, and they discover their unique gifts, I am going to get that drop of dopamine. I know I'm going to feel good. And so that's what keeps me focused. That's what keeps me motivated. But when I let other things distract me during that process, it's keeping me from actually achieving what truly inspires me and inspires everything that I do. So I have to say, I'm going to shut all of this other stuff down and focus on this one task because human beings weren't built to multitask. We created multitasking. Human beings are great when they can focus on one thing at a time. But in the information age, we've made it where it's acceptable to multitask, to do things halfway, and your results aren't ever going to be as good as if you just stopped and focused. Now, this is a complete correlation and equal to your personal life and your personal relationships. Do you really want to know how to make your spouse just overwhelming with focus towards you, overwhelming love and respect for you? Do you want to know how to really make them happy? Do the exact same thing that you do with your business with your spouse, even if it's just once a day. When they walk into the door, shut off the TV, shut the laptop, turn the phone on silent, and spend 15 minutes, just 15 minutes, and do this. Active listening. Active listening. Just listen. Respond, listen. Focus. Focus on what they're saying to you. Focus on their needs, not yours. Focus on theirs. Do not respond with a one-up. Do not respond with a solution to their problem. Just listen. And here's an example of that. If my wife comes home and says, "Oh, my day was just terrible. It was just a hard day at work," I don't want to respond with, "I know, my day was hard too." That's a typical response. Just listen, respond, encouragement, focus. If you do that, your relationship, I promise it will be so much better within a week's time if you do that just 15 minutes a day. Because we live in a day where you're easily distracted. I've seen myself do this hundreds of times. My wife can come in, she can start talking, I will start listening, and then I hear something on the TV, and I kind of turn and I kind of trying to pay attention to both at the same time, and I'm not giving her that 100% focus that she deserves. And then I miss a piece of information that she's talking about, and then I come back and ask her a question, and she's kind of like, "I just told you that, Ryan. Like, were you not listening?" I get that a lot. It's something that I have to work on. So I dedicate 15 minutes to say I'm shutting everything down and focusing directly on my wife for 15 minutes out of a 24-hour day. Just 100% laser focused on what she's talking about. Now, this really takes into account with creative thinking and creative tasks in your business, in your life. An example is sitting down to, create a presentation. You're going to do a presentation for work, or you're going to do a presentation for the internet. You're going to shoot a video and do a presentation. Sit down and focus on that presentation and shut out everybody. Put a do not disturb sign on your door, because the human brain, to get into the creative process, the creative mode, usually takes around 10 to 15 minutes. So you sit down and you're really in this creative process. It takes you 10, 15 minutes to get there. You work for 5, 10 minutes, and then someone walks in and asks you, "Hey, are you thirsty? Would you like something to drink?" That disrupted your creative process. You turn, you tell them, "Oh yeah, sure, I'll take a coffee." They leave, they go grab a coffee. Now it's going to take you 10 to 15 minutes to get back into the creative process. Then you get back in the creative process, and they walk in and say, "Here's your coffee." You just left your creative zone. Takes you 10 to 15 minutes. That was 45 minutes of creativity that you threw away over a cup of coffee. So it's all about keeping focus, finding your focus, and finding motivation that will get you laser focused and excited is knowing your purpose. The purpose that inspires you to do what you do, but keeping your focus is about eliminating distraction and really dialing in and understanding what it is that you're trying to accomplish. Not that specific task, but the end game task. So that specific task might be putting a presentation together that bores my brain out that I don't want to do. But if I realize that presentation is going to help someone find their purpose, cause, or beliefs that inspires them to do what they do, and I help someone find their unique gifts, and I know that's what this presentation is going to do, it's going to keep me focused. It's going to keep me laser focused. Now what I need to do is stay focused by eliminating the distractions around me. So I hope this Ryan Roadmap has been a little helpful. If you have any ideas on staying focused or keeping focused, go ahead and put them in the comment box below, and I can address them next week when we continue the conversation about focusing. So again, thank you guys for being here. I hope this has been beneficial. I do my best to help you guys, live a life of fulfillment. And I know that sometimes some of the things I say people may not agree with, and they may agree with. And that's what the open forum comments below is for. And I love to address, and I love to be corrected. So feel free. If you think I'm completely false or wrong about something, just let me know. But again, if you can create that self-identity and motivation inside of you, and not worry about what the world wants, but what inspires you to do what you do, it's going to create a self-motivation, a motivation that nothing else can come in conflict with. And that motivation is going to equal inspiration and focus. And then all you have to do is eliminate the distractions. Eliminate that short-term dopamine that you're always looking for. And look at the end game. The end game self-gratification that you're going to get by helping somebody else. Helping someone with the unique gifts you have. And create true inspiration and fulfillment for yourself. Thank you.